What's up, beautiful people? It is a rainy day and we are just having a little story time with some of the younger boys here. Lincoln is still sleeping, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But you know, we figured it's a nice day for a little story time. So I'm reading my new book, The Art of Getting It Wrong. This chapter is called There Are No Shortcuts. And Liam's already read the whole book. Ethan hasn't read all of it yet, but I think they'll think this is pretty funny. Hopefully you think it's pretty funny. If you pre-order, you can still go onto theartofgettingitwrong.com. You can put in your pre-order bonus redemption there, get all that pre-order bonus stuff. We would love for you to do that. It comes out on Tuesday. So anytime between now and Monday, you can still get that pre-order bonus. So I'm gonna read this. It's called There Are No Shortcuts. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Stephen, my principal, asked me from across his desk. This is a desk I had become all too familiar with from all my different misadventures, but this time he had a little bit of a smirk, like he was trying to hold back from laughing hysterically. Yes, I said, half expecting his next words to be quoting Mr. Belding. Remember, the last three letters of principal spell pal, and that's what I am, your pal. This is not what came next. I had no idea you were so well connected with such fascinating celebrities, Stephen. Tell me, how do you know Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Troy Aikman, MC Hammer, Michael Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and Garth Brooks? I started sweating profusely. Despite my ardent admiration for each of them, I didn't truly know any of these people, which meant my little ruse was up. Rewind to the previous week when at a school assembly, a very nice mustachioed man in a neatly iron-pleated Dockers and a slick corduroy blazer pitched my entire fourth grade class on the virtue of selling Christmas wrapping paper. Table number one was covered in glitz and glam, sparkling pink to tinsel red to green flannel, every dazzling color of paper you could imagine in 10-foot rolls, just waiting to wrap whatever my grandmother had thoughtfully picked out for me at the dollar store or thrift shop that year. It was a fundraiser for something, we had no clue what. Could have been to help upgrade the sloppy joes in our cafeteria for all I knew. Or to help them get some whole milk instead of having to get 2%. It didn't matter. Because for the entire time, the mustache twitched up and down over his lips with what I could only assume were words coming forth from his mouth. All I could focus on was the black blanket draped over table number 2. That was the real reason for this assembly, to appeal to little boys and girls' baser, covetous instincts of greed and lust. I can see you kiddos aren't that interested in wrapping paper. You just want to see what's under the blanket here, eh? He said in a halfway patronizing tone befitting a salesman of his Burt Reynolds-esque stature. Only if Burt Reynolds had somehow mastered the art of combining a thick southern drawl with the speed of a Micro Machines auctioneer's speech. And then, like a magician unveiling the final illusion, he whipped off the blanket with a voila that had the kind of panache one might expect of a high-dollar Vegas show. The treasure trove he uncovered was mind-boggling. Tiny little Dallas Cowboys helmets, silver sparkling slap bracelets, hacky sacks that looked like they must have been made with the same materials as Joseph's coat of many colors, Tootsie Roll piggy banks that were full of Tootsie Rolls. That last one was the kicker. I muttered under my breath in a sort of Wayne's World, breaking the fourth wall kind of way, "She will be mine. Oh yes, she will be mine.
Oh yes, she will be mine."
I grabbed my fundraiser order form with lightning speed and ran home as fast as my chubby little legs could carry me. I took a shower, put on my best button-up shirt and khakis, wet my comb and slicked back my little chili bowl haircut to channel my inner Andy Garcia as much as possible, and even snuck into my dad's bathroom to borrow some of his cologne. I wanted to look professional, like a real salesman. And since my mom was always going on and on about how handsome Andy Garcia was, I figured he was just the guy to emulate if I wanted to get all the moms and grandmas on the block to purchase whatever wares I was peddling. As I began going door to door in my neighborhood, little old lady after little old lady would tell me how excited she was to support me. "Put me down for a roll of wrapping paper," they said in the sweetest way possible. At the end of the day, I had sold 15 rolls of wrapping paper, as well as 2 boxes of chocolates and 1 candle. Licking my lips, I opened up that rewards guide to see how many more I needed to sell to get the Tootsie Roll piggy bank. I was certain I was close, and I could taste those Tootsie Rolls already. Not to mention the massive amount of money I was going to get to save after I plowed through all the candy and then began putting all my extra hard-earned cash in that little piggy bank. I was already visualizing all the incredible things I could buy after saving up for years in that thing. But my heart sank a bit when I looked at the key next to the Tootsie Roll piggy bank and realized it required 50 points. I'd only earned 18. If it took that much hustling just to get 18 points, how on earth would I get another 32? Even if I asked all my relatives, that might procure me another 10, but I'd still be miles away. It's like when you go to the arcade and you win like 7,000 tickets in skee-ball, only to realize that the $5 Nerf gun you wanted is actually 1,225,012 tickets. That's how I felt. Didn't quite seem to add up, but I still needed to have that Tootsie Roll bank, and I was determined. I racked my brain for days trying to figure out how to make up the difference, and all the other kids came into school bragging about how their parents took their order forms to the office and sold to their coworkers for them, and they already had 100 points. They'd be getting the helmet and the hacky sack at least. I wasn't greedy. I just wanted the bank. And it was at that very moment my imagination began to hatch a plan that was so completely perfect, so completely unique, so completely preposterous, it had to work. I reached for the order form as if under inspiration of the great geniuses of old, and it was like my pen was writing all by itself. Line 22, Michael Jordan, 4 rolls of wrapping paper. Line 23, Troy Aikman, 3 rolls of wrapping paper. Line 24, John Smith. I needed to break up the famous names before it started to look suspicious. 1 roll. Line 25, Michael Jackson, 1 box of chocolates, 1 candle, and 1 roll of wrapping paper. Line 26, you get the point. It was brilliant until it wasn't. I turned in my order form the next day, and my teacher was so thrilled to see I had my 50 points. I stood there waiting for the piggy bank to be handed over, only to be informed that once the products came in and I was able to deliver them and collect the money, then I'd get the bank. That wasn't good. So there I sat across from my principal, who, after graciously not reminding me that the last 3 letters of principal are PAL, was lovingly informing me that I wouldn't be getting the Tootsie Roll piggy bank unless all my celebrity friends had legitimately placed the orders, and that one day after taking them their very real products, I would show up to school with a literal envelope containing $500 of non-monopoly money from the sales I had made. I think he was halfway impressed, but also had to be responsible, pal, and let me know my shortcut wasn't going to work. I apologized and went home to tell my parents what had happened. Figured it was better coming from me than them. They laughed, and that was basically it. My shortcut hadn't worked. No matter how genius it was still a shortcut. And shortcuts don't work.
That was hilarious. I can't believe you tried that.
I can't believe I tried that out. So the next part is the next fundraising scheme.
Yeah, I read that. That was hilarious.
With the chocolate bars that I sold for $2, even though they were clearly marked $1. But the idea is, just
Don't take shortcuts.
do the hard work. Don't take shortcuts. They don't work.
Yeah.
So that's just a sneak peek, guys. And thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our little reading session. We'll probably do a couple more of these. Anyway, love you guys. Go to theartofgettingitwrong.com. Pre-order your book. Redeem your pre-order bonus. We can't wait to get this out into the world. Hopefully you love it.
Bye.
Bye.